Hello there guys, welcome back to Younes Talks Football, welcome back to a brand new video. I hope all of you are doing well. I have to say, this is the one video that I think every single football YouTuber on this platform has been waiting for. It's our Premier League 2020-2021 final league table predictions, and it's the one that we all get wrong. And to be fair, this is my first one in a while. I hesitated to take up this challenge multiple times, and this year I've gone, you know what? I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it because I saw how wrong it got for everybody, and I have to look at this and go, yeah, I might as well throw my name in the hat, because as wrong as it may go, I think we're all in the same boat. But you never know. If I get it all completely right, then yes, then I can predict the future. So let's get cracking. This is going to be really interesting. And it's going to be interesting for some Chelsea fans that are watching, I know, because I know what you guys are thinking. Hey, I'm a Chelsea fan myself. I know what the expectation is. And for the non-Chelsea fans, it's going to be interesting for you guys to see who I rank in the top four, who I think is going to get a European place, who I think is going to get relegated, and which teams in the league are going to be the surprise factor. Which ones are going to make a statement? You know, the ones that are going to do something that you're just not expecting. Let's get cracking and let's get into the nitty gritty. I am going to start this off with the bottom three. We might as well just kick off from the bottom upwards. And instead of going team by team, I'm just going to throw these three in the same boat, because I believe these three are going to get relegated. They are Fulham to finish bottom. And no, that's not a bias. That's not just because I'm a Chelsea fan that I want Fulham to be relegated and suffer. No, that's honestly not the case. I will explain. West Brom to finish 19th and Aston Villa to go down with them. Now, Fulham and West Brom, who have just been promoted, I don't think possess enough quality to see them through the entire season. When I look at the other teams in the league and the players that they have and what they've done, I just don't see how Fulham and West Brom are going to keep up. Fulham I am putting bottom because I believe West Brom do have that little bit more quality than Fulham. In terms of transfers, both haven't been seriously active, at least in terms of bringing in quality that can try and transform their team. So I am going to say they finished 20th and 19th. That's my honest opinion. Aston Villa I've put 18th. They just about survived, right, last season. And I genuinely think when I look at the other teams and who they've brought in, I look at Villa, I see some of the signings that they've made. Don't get me wrong, a player like Ollie Watkins from Brentford, fantastic. But is Ollie Watkins going to keep Aston Villa alive? I don't think he can do it single-handedly. And I simply think that because they just about clawed on the final day last season, I think this season they're going down. I think they're going down. That's why I've put them in 18th. Now, 17th, I'm going with that team that if it wasn't for Aston Villa, they'd be going down. And it's West Ham. And I think we can all agree on this one. West Ham, some of you may think West Ham, especially with some of the investment that they're looking to make, they haven't actually made that much investment, but the transfer window's not finished yet. So this might be a little bit premature. However, the quality that they have in the team at the moment, where West Ham finished last season, they were in and around that zone. And I think they won't go down. They won't go down. I just don't think West Ham are a club that will go down. I think West Ham are a team that will always be around that region of near relegation, but just never go down. Very much like how Southampton have been as of late. At least until when they returned to the Premier League, and since then they've been impressive in some games, and in some games they've been shocking, but they haven't been a team that's dipped into the relegation zone and stayed there. West Ham, I think, are I want to say they're too big to get relegated, but you never know. But I'm being completely honest. I think West Ham will finish 17th. They'll just about scrape it. Do they need change of ownership? Do they need a new manager? Do they need just funds to be injected? I think they need probably all three. So West Ham to finish 17th. 16th, I'm going with Southampton. Now, this one may surprise you a little bit because Southampton do have the potential to go up and finish 11th. Me putting them 16th is only because of some other teams and some of the investments that we've seen them make. Southampton, I think are going to remain stagnant. And I think are not going to go down, but not going to get better. They're just going to stay exactly where they are. And I think that is why they are going to finish 16th. I like their manager. And I like the setup that they have. And in some games, they can cause a shock. But I just don't think they're consistent enough. They haven't made any big, massive statement signings. And I don't think they're going to get any better. But I don't think they're going to get any worse. So I'm going to throw them in 16th. Just for this prediction. That may be wrong. They can finish higher. They do have the potential to finish higher. I just think they're going to finish 16th. In terms of 15th, I'm going with Brighton. Brighton, who have looked impressive in terms of the transfer market, especially getting a signing like Adam Lallana. Now, as I said for Ollie Watkins earlier on with Aston Villa, is Adam Lallana going to single-handedly save Brighton? Probably not. But he comes from the Premier League champions. He comes from a bunch of winners. And he comes with an aura of, I am going to do my best to try and transform this team whilst I am the main man. Brighton have a lot to learn from that. But I don't think it's going to cause enough shockwaves for them to climb up the table. And that's why I'm sticking them in 15th. The teams above them have a little bit more substance about them, and I'm going to get to that in a sec, but I'm throwing Brighton in 15th. They won't be near relegation. I don't think they're going to be threatened with relegation. I'm putting them halfway through the bottom half of the table, so I'll stick them in 15th. In 14th, I'm putting Burnley. Burnley are a weird side. Sean Dyche, I think, is a good manager. But with Burnley, there are games where you look and it's like you just can't get past them. They're just concrete. But there's some games where they're just so flimsy and they can't put a ball in the net. And they end up losing because of that. There are games sometimes at home where they look shocking. And away from home they look fantastic. And then in other times of the season, it's like it flips. At home they're unbeatable. And then away they get battered. They are so inconsistent. They're so yo-yo up and down roller coaster sort of team. But they have enough, especially at the back, to prevent them from conceding too many goals for them to be threatened with relegation. And that's why I'm sticking them in 14th. I don't see them going near relegation. Sean Dyche as well, with what he brings to Burnley and what he's brought to Burnley over the last few seasons, I think possesses enough quality and enough experience to get Burnley across the line in certain situations. And whilst they haven't sold many of their players, they still have the same block. I do think that Burnley will finish 14th. If we move into 13th, this is a little bit of an optimistic one because this team can finish lower. And I'm putting the warning out there. Newcastle United. Newcastle, whilst we all thought they were going to get bought by flipping the Crown Prince of Saudi Arabia, they were going to get Mourinho as their manager, they were going to sign Mbappe. And what happened? Mike Ashley is still there. He's blaming the Premier League for the deal not going through. Steve Bruce is the manager, and they haven't got Mbappe. They've got players far from Mbappe, that's for sure. So Newcastle, you would all look at them and think, nah, you're getting relegated. You're getting relegated. There's no way you're surviving this. However, I do think Newcastle, even with the team that they have at the moment, the way Steve Bruce has surprisingly managed to just about steer the ship, they have enough just to be okay. They won't go down. I'll be surprised if they go down. There's enough quality in that team, especially with players like St. Maximin. I think there are players that are able to just get Newcastle across the line. I don't think they're going to cause massive shockwaves or cause an earthquake or some massive results. No, but I do think they will just about see themselves through. Mike Ashley, I think, will sell at some point. He's made it clear he wants to sell. It's just the Premier League does not allow the deal to go through. Now, who's telling the truth here? I don't know. I'm not in a position to say. However, I think eventually Newcastle will find a buyer, and that will, possibly even during the season, and that will get them up and running. In terms of investment, maybe the January transfer window, I do think there's an aura about Newcastle, and with Steve Bruce, who has done a good job so far. You have to be honest. He's done a good job and a better job than most of us thought he would do. So I think Newcastle will be okay, and that's why I've stuck them 13th. Now, the surprise factor, and some of you are going to be surprised that I'm saying this, especially as a Chelsea fan, because there's history with this club. Leeds United, I think, are going to be the surprise team. The ones that are not going to be near relegation. They've just been promoted. You would normally look at Leeds and go, nah, you know what? You are going down. I don't think they're going down. And I have very optimistic thoughts about Leeds United. The signings they've made this transfer window have been just mind-blowing. If we're looking at some, they've got Helder Costa, Rodrigo from Valencia. I mean, Leeds United. Now, if you had watched the Amazon documentary All or Nothing for Leeds United before they went and done, Man City, they went and done Tottenham Hotspur, they've done a documentary on Leeds United. You look at the ambition. There is ambition. And now they finally get promoted. And their manager is a top manager. Marco Bielsa knows what he's doing, and I think he's going to shock a lot of you. He is going to shock a lot of you. Do not be surprised if Leeds United cause some massive results this season. But they are a team that's just been promoted. And that's why I'm not putting them in for a flipping European place. I'm going to throw them 12th. 12th in the Premier League. Most will expect them to be in the relegation zone, 17th, 16th. I think they're going to be safe. They're going to be okay. They're going to get the 40-point mark very early on, and I think they'll be all right. So Leeds United in 12th. In 11th, I am going with Crystal Palace. Crystal Palace, weirdly enough, sometimes during a season look like they're about to dip into the relegation zone, and then they don't. They're just that team that somehow claw themselves out of a situation with pretty much nothing. Or there's some players that you look in the team and you think, yeah, you know what, they're going to be okay, but then they dip and then they survive. Crystal Palace is a weird club. Wilfried Zaha, who surprisingly is still at Crystal Palace. Michy Batshuayi is looking very much to be going out on loan to them. We know about Michy and we know what he can bring. He's just banging 2 goals for Belgium, I don't know, out of nowhere, because for Chelsea, he's certainly not banging anything in. So I think for Crystal Palace, he will be utilised very well. He's already been there on loan before. Crystal Palace, I think, are a team that are always just mid-table. They're not going to go down. They're not going to go up. They're just going to stay there. So that's why I've stuck them mid-table and I've stuck them in 11th. When you look at the teams above them, there's just no way that Crystal Palace are going to finish above the teams that I've put above them. So that's why I've stuck them as the best of the rest. In 11th, let's dive into the top 10. In 10th, and this is going to be a bit unfortunate for some of you, I think, Sheffield United. They had a great season last season. Chris Wilder, they done big things. They done big things. It's very hard to stay at that level. And I think for a club like Sheffield United, where massive investment is needed to help revitalise the team. Now, they've brought in a couple of names that I can see and I think it's decent. It's decent, right? It's decent. It's not revolutionising, but it's decent. Ethan Ampadu, for example, on loan. Cool. Oliver Burke from West Brom. Aaron Ramsdale from Bournemouth. There's names and there's good names there that have been brought in to try and take Sheffield United to the next level. What is the next level for Sheffield United? A European place. Now, with the teams that they're competing with and the teams that they are competing with who have gone into the transfer market and done bigger things, that's where I think Sheffield United have fallen short. And that's why I'm putting them in 10th. And 10th, as far as I'm concerned, with the teams that they're competing against, is not a bad position. It's getting more difficult by the minute. So I am sticking them in 10th. In 9th, I'm going to put Leicester City. Leicester City, who I think they've set a standard for themselves. They're not going to get lower. Leicester, since winning the Premier League, have taken themselves to the next level. And even though they haven't finished in the top 4 and, they've been around that region and then they've always fallen off, they're still there. They're not mid-table. They're still there. But, again, when you look at some of the other teams that I'm going to mention that are above them, I think there's better business that's been done. I think there's better quality there now. And I think Leicester, who finished 5th, despite other teams around them struggling, who are now better, I think Leicester are going to finish 9th. So that's why I am putting them 9th. In 8th, I am going for Wolves. Or, sorry, did I get the name wrong? Portugal. Portugal are going to finish in 8th. Because, flipping out, what are Wolves doing? It's like their only scouts at the club are all based in Portugal. I mean, look at the signings that they've made. Fabio Silva, Vitinha, both from Porto. More Portuguese players. It's absolutely unreal how they've just gone in for no one but Portuguese players. It's brilliant. I love it. Wolves, I think next season are going to have a flag where instead of the Wolves badge, it's just going to be the Portuguese flag on there instead. But Wolves in 8th. Wolves had a fantastic season last season. An absolutely tremendous season last season. But I am going to stick them in 8th because despite them being in around that region last season, and despite some of the signings they've brought in, the other teams around them, I think, are just a little bit stronger. And even though Wolves have a fantastic side, and they proved that whilst playing in the Europa League, they can go far. I just don't think they've done enough to be able to take them to a level where they are talking about playing in the Europa League or the Champions League, making that European place again. You know, it's very difficult to sustain yourselves, especially if you're not bringing in all the signings, and Wolves, without that much money, you have to be honest, they're not loaded. I don't think they're going to keep up. I think they'll be there, and that's why I'm sticking them in 8th, but I don't think they'll get better than that. So Wolves, for me, will be 8th, but I admire the work that they're doing. I admire the job that the manager at Wolves is doing. I think he's fabulous, a fabulous manager. And some of their players are brilliant. But is there enough there to take Wolves from being a good club to a great club? I don't think there is just yet. So for me, they are in 8th. In 7th, I think is a team that's made a lot of investment, a lot of progress, a lot of development, with a world-class manager looking for a new season. Everton, Carlo Ancelotti, James Rodriguez. I mean, big statements, you know. Decore, big statements. There's massive potential in this Everton side. But there's the one problem. Are Everton going to bolster themselves into the top 6? And that's where there's a big question mark. And that's why I've put them 7th. Because Everton, I think, as the rest outside of the top 6, have the best team. And that's why I stuck them there. But are they better than Arsenal? Are they better than United? Are they better than Spurs, City, Liverpool, Chelsea, whatever? Are they? No. And unless if some other teams that I've just mentioned in the top 6 are going to have absolute shockers, again, which I don't think they are, but if they are going to, then Everton can get themselves in the top 6. Absolutely. And if there's a team in the league that I'm looking to with the chance of breaking into the top 6, it's Everton. So keep an eye on Everton this season. They might be a surprise factor. In 6th, I'm going for Arsenal. Arsenal, who I think have actually done all right, you know, especially in the transfer market. We saw the latter stage of the season, they won the FA Cup. I just pretend that didn't happen. Who did they play in the final? Yeah, I don't know. Anyway, they won the FA Cup. Fair play to them. They won the FA Cup. They finished the season quite strongly. Arteta, you can tell, is building a project. He's doing very well. He's trusted. They're bringing in signings for him. They signed Gabriel. They got Willian on a free. Willian, I think, is going to do well this season. Maybe after that, he might not do so well. But I think for this season, he will do well. He'll be a starter for them. Aubameyang's managed to sign a new deal, or he's about to at least, but he's definitely penning a new deal. He's staying at the club. They've kept their best players, and they've made a few additions. And that's where I think they are going to have that bit of stability, at least to finish in the top 6. At least, you know. So Arsenal, I think, will be finishing 6th. Man United, I've put in 5th. Some of you may be surprised at that one. Now, if they sign Sancho, I might consider them to be, you know, going up the table a little bit. But when you look at the teams above them, I still am not convinced by what Man United have in their team. I'm not scared of Man United. I look at United, I'm just not petrified. Yes, they signed Van der Beek. Fantastic bit of business. 40 million. Brilliant. They've not done anything else. You know, when you look at last season and what Ollie's done with that Man United side, they were so up and down and so topsy-turvy and so on and off. It was ridiculous. They haven't made the adjustments to try and transform the team and correct their wrongs. I just don't think they have. They've spent way too much time on trying to get Sancho, which is pretty much impossible unless if Man United do fork out 120 million. The demand from Dortmund has been clear. Give us 120 million euros and he's yours. No installments. Give us the fee and he's yours. Man United are not budging and they're taking way too long. Season starts this weekend. Terrible. It's terrible business. It's terrible business. I'm just not satisfied with what Man United have done, but I think there's enough quality there to at least finish ahead of Arsenal. No offence to Arsenal. I think there's still enough quality to just get a Europa League place. So that's why I've stuck them in 5th. So United, for me, 5th place. Now the top 4. Spurs fans are going to be happy that I haven't mentioned them, but I'm sorry, your happiness ends now. Tottenham are finishing 4th in my prediction. The 3 teams above them are better than Tottenham. I think we can agree on that one. I do think that Tottenham's ambition is to finish in the top 4 because it's a Champions League place and they missed out last season, big time. So finishing in the top 4 is an improvement. Jose Mourinho's second seasons are quite renowned and they're quite well known for being good seasons. Except for one, every single second season he's had, he's won the league. Whether it's been the Premier League or Serie A or La Liga, he's won it in his second season. Except for Man United, where he finished second. And that was still an amazing achievement. Now, we look at this Tottenham team, and are they going to finish second? I don't think so. Especially when you look at the investment that Chelsea have made, the quality that City possess, the team that Liverpool have. Tottenham, I just don't think, unless if Mourinho does something incredible, honestly. If Mourinho finishes in the top 3, I would say with the Spurs team, he's done incredible. That's his best achievement to date, honestly. I just don't think Tottenham are there yet. They're still a work in progress. I do think Tottenham down the line are going to be a team. Maybe not this season, the season after. If there's big investment made to accompany players like Harry Kane, Son, Dele Alli, some youth players, look at Tanganga. We saw what he done in the Amazon Prime documentary. They have a team there. The only thing, the misfortune that Tottenham have had is injury. There's always a crisis. If all the players are there and fit and they've made additions, new signings on top of that, then they're going to be a force. But I don't think they're there yet. So that's why I've stuck them in 4th. I think they'll do better. I'll put them as a Champions League place, but I think that's where it's going to be. In 3rd, Manchester City. Man City. Some of you are going to look at me now. I'm going to get crazy. You're probably looking at me like I've gone mad. I think Man City are going to finish 3rd. I don't think they've done enough business, firstly, to improve from what they were last season. I think, to a sense, they've kind of been figured out. Tactically, they've kind of been figured out. They haven't adapted enough or changed enough to keep that surprise factor. When Guardiola walked into the club, he kind of changed the way City were as a club, as a whole. It's kind of been the same thing now, and we've gotten used to it, and I don't see much adjustment or much change. So that's why I think City will lose games like they did last season, but because of other teams behind them who are worse, they kind of got a little bit lucky. And sometimes you got to make your own luck, and I think they did, but they did get that little bit of luck. So Man City, I think, are going to finish 3rd. Not enough progress and not enough signings, not enough talent coming in to try and take City to that next level, to try and sustain the level that they're at. I think they're going to dip a little bit. So I'm going to put them in 3rd. Who's 2nd and who's 1st? Now this is the question. Who's winning the Premier League title? I'm going to give you who's going to finish in 2nd. And it's down to 2 teams, Chelsea or Liverpool. This is going to be bold. Are you ready? In 2nd, I'm going with Liverpool. Yes, I've said it. Now, probably some of you are going to switch off. Hear me out. I said this on my last video with Football Therapy. For a team to retain the Premier League title, there needs to be serious development. There needs to be a very good transfer window. I don't think it's possible to keep the same team and retain. In today's climate, you can't do it. Chelsea tried it, we failed miserably. Every team that's gone on to retain the title have made additions during the transfer window, has fixed the wrongs that they kind of saw, even though they won the league, but they've corrected the wrongs, even if they were minor, in the team to try and take Liverpool or whoever to that little next level to try and retain the title. Liverpool haven't done that. This window, they haven't done that. They're still looking to get Thiago Alcantara. I think that will get across the line, but they still haven't done it. So that's why I'm looking at them and I'm going, hello, Liverpool? What's next? Liverpool towards the end of the season were looking a bit suspect. And to be fair with all the other teams last season that were just across the board, just horrific. Liverpool, not taking anything away from them. They've done absolutely fantastic. You do not get 99 points out of luck. But now teams are looking like they're catching up. And Liverpool, I don't think, have made any additions to be able to look at Liverpool and go, yeah, I'm scared of you. You are even better than you were last season. Liverpool are not better than they were last season. They're the same. Whilst other teams have kind of caught up. And I think with who I've put first, and I know I'm wearing the shirt, and there's a bit of bias here, I have to be honest, but if we're going to get the Premier League predictions wrong, I might as well put Chelsea to win the Premier League title. Because if it happens, then flipping great, I was right. And if it doesn't happen, then at least it was a crazy prediction. I am putting Chelsea to win the Premier League title. Yes, I've said it. Why? Because despite the transfer ban, despite Hazard leaving, despite promoting academy players, we managed to build ourselves a foundation. With Frank Lampard walking into his first year of Premier League management, we managed to build a foundation, a strong one at least, with those academy players, and we got into the top 4. With the signings that we've made, world-class additions, we're talking Werner, Ziyech, Havertz, not even talking about Thiago Silva, Ben Chilwell, whilst we really needed a left-back. We're getting Mendy. There's talk of Declan Rice. I mean, we're just not stopping, guys. It's just constant addition with the quality that we have. Pulisic's going to have an even better season, it's looking like. We're looking at the youth players that have already built a year of experience and are looking to get better and build on that. It's looking very good at Chelsea. And trust me, that's where I think the statement will be made. In history, when we look at historical seasons, past transfer windows, whenever we've made massive signings in a transfer window, we've gone on to win the Premier League the next season. So that is why I am putting Chelsea, whilst Liverpool have not made any adjustments, Chelsea to go on and win the Premier League title. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. Am I crazy? Let me know. Do you agree? Let me know. Do you disagree? Let me know. Let me know in the comments. I'd love to hear it. Subscribe to the channel if you are new. Hit that notification bell to be notified once I've uploaded. Smash that like button for me. Let's try and get to 7,000 likes. Thank you all so much for your support. Let's see how right or wrong I am, and let's see how right or wrong we all are. I know we've all made our predictions. Let's see what happens. It's going to be a very good season. Good luck to all teams. Good luck to all the fans, and may the best team win. I'll see all of you really soon. Thank you all so much for watching. Look after yourselves. Take care, and peace.